How can you control your emotional state when you don't know what you're feeling? And how do you control anxiety attacks and anger outbursts that just seem to come out of nowhere? I've developed this mini 5-day course to help with these things. So the methods that I'm going to share with you can help to improve your emotional awareness, reduce feelings of numbness, reduce anxiety and anger, and improve overall ability to control your emotions. Day one of this course will be purely video and educational to help understand some of the mechanisms that happen in the brain after a traumatic experience. The rest of the days 2 through 5, will be all audio, and they will be simple reviews coupled with meditative practices to help work on feelings of numbness, disassociation, anxiety, and anger attacks. So first, we will start with the causes of feeling numb, detached from yourself, disassociated, which is one of the major symptoms of PTSD, and another major symptom, which is considered to be hyperarousal. And this shows up either in anger outbursts or anxiety attacks. So the causes of these symptoms are related to two different brain regions. One of those is known as the amygdala, which is the fear center of the brain. It's used to monitor and detect danger. And when we've gone through a traumatic experience, they found that this part of the brain tends to be overactive. The other major part that we're going to focus more on today is called the insula. The insula is a brain region that helps us connect physical and internal sensations with our emotional state. For example, if the insula is working properly, we will notice if we're having butterflies in the stomach, that kind of cues us off to realize, oh, I'm feeling a little anxious, I'm feeling a little nervous. And then that allows us to take some steps to help monitor and sort of manage that emotional response before it becomes too overwhelming to where it paralyzes us or leads to an anxiety attack. So you can think of the insula as sort of the system that recognizes these warning signs of out of control emotions. And after trauma, the insula becomes dysregulated. At times it's underreacting, and at other times it's overreacting. So when this insula or this body awareness center is underreacting, that's when we get feelings of numbness, detachment, or dissociation. When the insula is overactive, that's when we get these anger outbursts or these anxiety attacks. So the first step is to reconnect with the physical sensations in the body. And that's what all of the following days of this mini course are going to help the person do. So different emotions produce heat at different locations in the body. For instance, you can see anxiety is mostly found in the center of the body, and that's where a lot of heat shows up. And anger is concentrated in the upper part of the body, in the head and the arms. And then you can see that happiness is felt all over. This ability to detect changes in your internal state that signals a change in your emotions is known as interoception. That is what we're going to work on. We're going to work on developing your interoceptive ability. And you can strengthen this with these simple meditation practices. They're going to help to improve your mind-body connection. You can check out the description below for all of the rest of these videos, or just hang on to the end and I'll put a link in there to day number 2. The ability of meditative practices to create physical changes in the brain is something we've come to better understand over the past few years. These practices I'm sharing you with have been shown to calm the fear center of the brain, reduce numbing, disassociation, and anger outbursts, aid in your ability to cope with negative memories, and decrease feelings of constantly being on guard. The first practice starts with the basics of noticing where you may be holding stress in the body. It is important to note that the lasting changes from practicing these techniques may take some time, so it's important to stick with it and be patient with yourself if you don't notice benefits right away. But you should begin to notice some progress after about 30 days of regular practice. You'll want to practice these techniques for at least 10 minutes. Some of the meditations that I've shared with you are a little shorter than 10 minutes, but some of them can be easily extended. So as you become familiar with them, try to lengthen the amount of time that you engage in them. So, and you can mix and match these different mind-body techniques that I'm going to share with you. If you find one that you really like, hey, stick with that one and just continue to do that one regularly. That's part of the reason why I'm sharing several with you, is because I want you to be able to choose and find what works best for you. And if one of them doesn't work well, go on to the next one. So you can stick with just one, you can mix and match. They all sort of focus on the same part of the brain, and all of them will help develop your ability to notice these internal sensations and get rid of feeling numb, to reconnect with yourself, and to also notice those warning signs, when you're starting to become very upset, so that you can kind of head them off and do something about them. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope you'll continue on. Please feel free to send me any comments below, any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. Also, it's important to note that this is not meant to diagnose or treat any sort of mental health conditions. These are meant to be a supplement for ongoing regular mental health treatment, or to just be purely educational. I don't think there's any substitute for finding a good therapist, and I think that finding someone that you work well with and that human-to-human interaction is one of the best things to help overcome any mental health problems. See you next time.